I want to ask you one question before we begin. Think carefully before you answer. How many hours did you waste yesterday? Not just on your phone, not just on social media, but on anything that did not bring you closer to your dream, anything that did not help you grow, anything that, at the end of the day, left you feeling empty. 2 hours? 3 hours? 4? Now multiply that by 365 days. That is how many hours you will lose this year, if nothing changes. That is not just time. That is your dream, sitting on a shelf, collecting dust, waiting for a day that never comes. Today's story is about a young man named Omar. Omar was just like most people. He was not lazy. He was not bad. He had dreams, beautiful dreams. But every single day, he watched his time disappear, until one conversation changed everything. This is his story, and somewhere inside it, I think you will find your own. Meet Omar. Omar was 24 years old. He lived in a small apartment in a busy city. The apartment had one window. From that window, he could see other buildings, other windows, other lives. He had a simple job at a small shop. He worked from 9 in the morning until 6 in the evening, 5 days a week. The work was not exciting. It was not his dream, but it paid his rent and kept food on his table. Every evening, Omar came home tired. He took off his shoes, sat on his small sofa, and picked up his phone. And then the hours disappeared. Videos, social media, news, more videos, more scrolling, more time, gone. At midnight, he put his phone down, went to his small bed, and closed his eyes. But before sleep came, there was always that same feeling. Empty, not hungry, not sick, just empty. Like something was missing. Like the day had passed, and he had done nothing with it. He had dreams. He thought about them often. He wanted to speak English fluently. He imagined himself in a meeting, speaking confidently in English and everyone listening. He imagined traveling to new countries and talking to people from all over the world. He imagined getting a better job, a job that excited him, a job that made him feel proud. But those dreams lived only in his imagination, because every evening the phone was there, and the phone was easier than the dream. Wake up, work, phone, sleep, repeat, day after day, week after week, month after month. 1 year passed like this. Then another year began exactly the same way. Omar was now 24 years old, and he felt like life was passing him by. One cold Thursday evening, there was a knock at Omar's door. He opened it. His older sister Nadia was standing there, smiling, holding 2 cups of tea. "I was nearby," she said. "I thought I would visit." Omar smiled and let her in. He was happy to see her. Nadia always made him feel better. They sat together on the small sofa. Nadia looked around the apartment. At the shoes by the door, the dishes in the sink, the phone on the cushion beside Omar. She did not say anything about these things. She just sipped her tea quietly. Nadia was 30 years old. She spoke 3 languages, Arabic, English, and French. She had a good job at an international company. She traveled for work. She lived in a bigger apartment with more windows. But she had not always been this way. Omar looked at his sister and felt something he did not like feeling. Jealous, not angry, jealous. Sad jealous. The kind that makes your chest feel heavy. You are so lucky, Nadia, he said quietly. You had opportunities that I never had. Nadia put her cup down slowly. She looked at her brother with calm, kind eyes. She did not get angry. She did not argue. She did not say, "That's not true." She just asked one simple question. "Omar, how many hours did you spend on your phone today?" Omar looked down at his hands. He felt his face get warm. He did not answer. Nadia spoke softly. "I used to be exactly like you. Same phone, same sofa, same excuses, same empty feeling every night." Omar looked up slowly. "Really?" "Really," she said. "I was 23 years old. I had dreams. I wanted to speak English. I wanted a better life. But every evening, I told myself I was too tired. I told myself I would start tomorrow. And tomorrow always became the day after tomorrow." Omar was quiet. He was listening carefully now. "What changed?" he asked. Nadia picked up her tea again. She looked at the window for a moment. Then she said simply, "I stopped wasting my time, and I started using it." Lesson 1. Time passes whether you use it or not. After Nadia left that evening, Omar sat alone in his apartment. He did not pick up his phone. He just sat there and thought about what she said. Time passes whether you use it or not. He said those words quietly to himself. And something inside him, something small and important, woke up. This is a simple truth, but most people never really feel it. They know it in their heads, but they do not feel it in their hearts. Time does not wait for anyone. Right now, as you listen to this story, time is moving. Every second is going. Every minute is leaving. You cannot stop it. You cannot slow it down. And you cannot get it back. Think about water flowing in a river. You cannot hold water in your hands for very long. It slips through your fingers. It moves on. The river does not stop because you want to hold the water a little longer. Time is the same. It is always flowing, always moving forward. The only question is, what are you doing while it flows? Omar thought he was resting when he spent 4 hours on his phone every night. But he was not resting. Real rest gives you energy. Real rest makes you feel better. What Omar was doing, scrolling, watching, consuming, was not rest. It was escape, and there is a big difference between rest and escape. Rest heals you. Rest prepares you for tomorrow. Rest fills you back up. Escape feels good for a few minutes, but it always leaves you feeling worse than before. Emptier, more behind, more tired, not in your body, but in your soul. Ask yourself right now, honestly, what did I do with my time today? Did it bring you closer to your dream? Or did it take you further away? There is no middle. Time is always doing one of two things for you. It is either building your future, or it is taking you further from it. Every hour you spend learning English is an hour building your future. Every hour you spend scrolling with no purpose is an hour walking away from it. You choose. Every single day, every single hour, you choose. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. Time passes every day whether I use it or not. I choose how I spend my hour. Scrolling for hours does not help me grow. Every day is a new chance to use my time better. I will not let today pass without doing something good. Real rest gives me energy. Escape takes it away. I am building my future with every good choice I make. Lesson 2. The night Omar changed. The next morning, Omar woke up at his usual time. He reached for his phone, and then stopped. He remembered Nadia's words. He put the phone face down on the bed. He sat up. He looked at the window. Outside, the city was waking up. The sky was turning from dark blue to soft orange. He thought, if Nadia could change, maybe I can too. He opened his laptop. He found a free English learning video. He put in his earphones. For 30 minutes he listened. He repeated sentences. He wrote new words in a small notebook. It was not easy. Some words were difficult. Some sentences confused him. But when he closed the laptop 30 minutes later and picked up his phone to go to work, something felt different. He did not feel empty. He felt like he had done something. Like the morning had meant something. It was a small feeling. A quiet feeling. But it was real. That evening, he did it again. 30 minutes. Same notebook. Same focus. And again the next morning. And the morning after that. Omar had started something. And it felt, for the first time in a long time, like his life was moving. Lesson 3, Small Time, Big Change. 1 week later, Nadia called Omar to check on him. "How are you?" she asked. "I started," he said. "Every day. 30 minutes." Nadia was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I am proud of you." Those 4 words, "I am proud of you," made Omar feel stronger than he had felt in years. "But Nadia," he said, 30 minutes feels so small. How can 30 minutes really change anything? This is a question many people have. Maybe you have it too right now. How can something so small make a real difference? Nadia answered with numbers. "Omar," she said, 30 minutes every day is 182 hours every year. That is more than 7 full days, 24 hours a day of learning. In just 1 year, from 30 minutes a day." Omar was silent. "Think about it," she continued. "If you took a university English course, it would be maybe 40 hours in a semester. You, with 30 minutes a day, will do more than 4 times that amount in 1 year. Just from your sofa. Just from your phone. Just from 30 minutes. Omar had never thought about it that way. Small time sounds small, but small time, every day, adds up to something enormous. This is one of the most important lessons about time that most people never learn. We look at successful people and we think, they must have done something big. They must have had some special opportunity, some lucky moment that changed everything. But most of the time, that is not true. Most successful people did something very small, every single day, for a very long time. They did not run a marathon in 1 day. They ran 1 kilometer today, and 1 kilometer tomorrow, and 1 kilometer the day after, until one day they looked back and saw how far they had come. Nadia did not learn 3 languages in 1 month. She learned a few words every day. She practiced a few sentences every evening. She made mistakes and tried again, day after day after day. And one day, she was fluent. You can do the same thing. You do not need 5 hours. You do not need a perfect schedule. You do not need to wait until life is less busy. You need 30 minutes. Every day. Starting today, daily English sentences. Repeat after me. I only need 30 minutes a day to improve my English. Small time every day makes a very big difference. 30 minutes of English every day is 182 hours every year. I can always find 30 minutes if I really want to. Little by little, day by day, I am getting better. Small steps every day lead to big results over time. I do not need to be perfect. I just need to be consistent. Lesson 4, The Voice That Says Tomorrow. 1 month passed. Omar studied English every day. Some days in the morning before work. Some days in the evening after dinner. Some days during his lunch break at the shop. He was not perfect. Some days were better than others. But he kept going. Then, one Tuesday evening, something happened. Omar came home from work. It had been a hard day. A customer was rude to him. His feet hurt. His head hurt. He was tired in a way that felt heavy, not just in his body, but everywhere. He sat on the sofa. He looked at his notebook on the table, and a voice inside him said, very softly, very kindly, "Just rest today. You deserve it. You can study tomorrow." Do you know that voice? Almost everyone knows that voice. It sounds so reasonable. It sounds like it is taking care of you. It sounds like a friend. But it is not your friend. That voice has stolen more dreams than failure ever has. Think about this carefully. When you fail at something, at least you tried. Failure means you were in the game. Failure means you gave something a chance. But tomorrow means something different. Tomorrow means you never even got on the field. Tomorrow means the dream stayed on the shelf for one more day, collecting a little more dust. And here is the dangerous thing about tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And next month becomes next year. And one day you are sitting on the same sofa, looking at the same shelf, and the dream is still there. Older now, dustier now, and you are wondering where the years went. Omar sat on his sofa that Tuesday evening and heard that voice. He felt how tired he was. He felt how easy it would be to just put the notebook back and pick up the phone. But then he thought of something Nadia once said. She said, "The days when you don't feel like it, those are the most important days. Because on those days, you find out what you are really made of." Omar took a slow breath. He reached for his notebook. He said to himself, quietly, simply, "Not tomorrow. Now. Even just 15 minutes. But now." He opened the notebook. He studied for 20 minutes that evening. Not 30. Just 20. But he did it. And the next morning, he felt proud. Not because 20 minutes is a lot, but because he had chosen his dream over his excuses. And that choice, that small, quiet, private choice, was the most important thing he did that whole week. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. I do not say tomorrow. I start today. Even 10 minutes today is better than nothing. I do not wait for the perfect moment. I start now. Today is the only day I am sure I have. The days when I don't feel like it are the most important days. I choose my dream over my excuses. Not tomorrow. Now. Lesson 5. What wasted time really costs. 3 months into his new habit, Omar did something he had never done before. He sat down with a piece of paper and calculated. For 2 years before he started, 2 full years, he had spent an average of 4 hours every day on his phone. Not working, not learning, just scrolling, watching, wasting. He did the math. 4 hours a day, times 365 days, times 2 years. That was 2,920 hours. He stared at that number for a long time. 2,920 hours. If he had used even half of that time, even 2 hours a day, to learn English, that would have been 1,460 hours of learning over 2 years. At that rate, he could have become fluent. He could have learned a second skill. He could have started something new. Instead, he had 2,920 hours of videos he could not even remember. Omar felt something when he looked at that number. Not sadness exactly, not anger at himself. He felt awake, like someone had turned on a light in a dark room. Because here is what wasted time really costs you. It is not just the hours. The hours are gone, yes, but the real cost is the life you did not build during those hours. The English you did not learn. The skill you did not develop. The confidence you did not grow. The dream you did not move toward. Wasted time does not just steal your hours. It steals your future, slowly and quietly, while you are looking the other way. But here is the important thing, and please hear this carefully. Omar did not look at that number and feel hopeless. He did not sit there and think, "It is too late. Those hours are gone." He looked at that number and thought, "I will never let this happen again." He could not get the 2,920 hours back. Nobody can get lost time back. But he had today. He had tomorrow. He had every morning that was still coming. And from that day forward, he used them. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. Wasted time cost me more than just hours. I cannot get yesterday back, but I can use today well. Every good hour I spend now is a gift to my future. I am awake now. I see the value of my time. From today, I will never let my time disappear again. I have today. I have tomorrow. I will use them. My future is built from the hours I use today. Lesson 6. The people who guard their time. After Omar's calculation, he started to notice something. He started to pay attention to the people around him who were successful, or becoming successful, and he noticed one thing they all had in common. They guarded their time, not in a selfish way, not in an unfriendly way, but in a quiet, calm, serious way. They protected the hours they needed to grow. His colleague at the shop, a young woman named Hannah, always read during her lunch break, not her phone, a book. Every single day. His neighbor, a young man named Tariq, woke up 1 hour before work every morning and studied online courses. Every single day. His sister Nadia, she turned her phone off every evening at 9 o'clock. No exceptions. She used that last hour before sleep to review what she had learned that day. These people were not extraordinary. They were not special. They did not have more hours in their day than Omar had. They just chose differently. They decided at some point that their time was valuable, that their future was worth protecting, that every hour was either working for them or against them. And so they stopped giving their hours away so easily. Omar started doing the same thing. He put his phone in a drawer every evening at 8 o'clock. He kept his notebook on the table, visible, ready, waiting. When his phone buzzed with a notification, he did not jump to check it. He finished what he was studying first. These were small changes, but they felt powerful, because every time he chose his notebook over his phone, he was saying something to himself. He was saying, "My future matters more than this distraction." And the more he said it, the more he believed it. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. I guard my time like it is something precious. I put my phone away when I need to focus. My future matters more than any distraction. I protect my study time every single day. I choose growth over entertainment. Every hour I protect is an hour working for my future. I am serious about my time because I am serious about my dream. Lesson 7. 6 months later. 6 months after that Thursday evening when Nadia came to visit, Omar's life looked different. Not completely different. Not dramatically different. But noticeably different. He woke up 30 minutes earlier every morning. He studied English before work. He kept a small notebook in his pocket at the shop and wrote new words during quiet moments. In the evenings, instead of 4 hours on his phone, he spent 1 hour on English, and then rested properly. Real rest. Not scrolling, real rest. His English was improving. He could feel it. Words came to him more easily. He understood more of the English he heard around him. When he watched English videos now, for learning, not for escaping, he understood more than before. One afternoon at the shop, a foreign customer came in. A tourist. She spoke only English. She looked confused. She needed help finding something. 6 months ago, Omar would have panicked. He would have called a colleague. he would have looked at the floor, but this time, he stepped forward. "Can I help you?" he said. In English. Clearly, the woman smiled with relief. "Yes, please. I am looking for—" They had a simple conversation. It lasted maybe 3 minutes. The words were not perfect. There were small mistakes, but they understood each other. When the woman left the shop, she turned at the door and said, "Thank you so much. Your English is very good." Omar stood there and felt something rise in his chest. Pride. Real, warm, quiet pride. He went to the back of the shop. He took out his small notebook, and he wrote that moment down. He wrote, "Today a customer thanked me for my English. 6 months ago this was impossible. Today, it happened." That evening, he called Nadia. "Something happened today," he said. He told her about the tourist, about the 3 minutes, about the words. Nadia listened quietly. When he finished, she said, "Omar, that is not small. Do you understand? That is not small at all." And Omar, for the first time in a very long time, smiled and said, "I know, daily English sentences. Repeat after me. Every day my English is getting better. I can feel myself improving week by week. Small progress every day leads to big moments. I am proud of how far I have come. 6 months ago this was hard. Today it is easier. I will keep going because I can see the results. Every good effort I make today will show tomorrow." Lesson 8. 1 year, 1 life. 1 year after Nadia's visit, Omar sat in a waiting room. He was wearing his best shirt. His notebook was in his bag. His hands were calm, not perfectly calm, but calm enough. He was waiting for a job interview, not at a small shop, at an international company, the same kind of company where Nadia worked. He had seen the job posted online 3 weeks ago. He had read it 4 times before he believed he could apply. He had almost talked himself out of it twice. But he applied, and they called him back, and now he was sitting in this waiting room, breathing slowly, reviewing the English phrases he had practiced 100 times in his notebook. His name was called. He walked into the room. 2 people sat behind a table, a man and a woman, both professional, both calm. The woman looked up and smiled. "Good morning," she said in English. "Please sit down." "Good morning," Omar said. In English, clearly, warmly. "Tell me about yourself," the man said. 1 year ago, those words would have made Omar's mind go completely blank. He would have looked for the Arabic words first. He would have translated. He would have lost 10 seconds just staring. But today, he took 1 slow breath, and he answered, not perfectly, with a small pause here and there, with 1 word that did not come immediately and had to be replaced with another. But he answered, in English, confidently, honestly. He spoke about his work experience, about why he wanted this job, about what he was learning and where he wanted to go. The interview lasted 20 minutes. When it was over, he walked out of the building into the sunlight and stood on the street. He did not know yet if he had the job, but he knew something more important than that. He knew that the person who had walked into that building today was not the same person who had sat on that sofa 1 year ago, feeling empty, telling himself he had no time. That person had changed, not because of luck, not because of a miracle, not because life had suddenly become easier, because of 30 minutes, every day, for 1 year. 2 weeks later, he got the job. That evening, he called Nadia. "I got it," he said. His voice was quiet, but full. "I know," she said. "I always knew." "Nadia," he said after a moment. 1 year ago I told you I had no time. But I had time the whole time. I was just using it wrong. Nadia smiled on the other end of the phone. That is the thing about time, Omar. It was always there. You just finally decided to use it. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. 1 year of daily effort can change my life completely. I am not the same person I was 1 year ago. I got here because I showed up every single day. 30 minutes a day for 1 year made all the difference. My hard work is starting to show. I will keep going because the best is still ahead. Time was always there. I just decided to use it. Final words. Your time is waiting. Omar's story is not special because he was talented. It is not special because he had good luck. It is special because one ordinary Thursday evening, on a small sofa in a small apartment, he heard one simple truth, and he decided to live differently. You are listening to this story today. That is not an accident. Something brought you here. Something in you is awake or waking up. Something in you knows that time is passing and that you want to use it better. That feeling is not a problem. That feeling is a gift. It is the beginning of something. Maybe right now you feel like Omar felt, like time has been passing, and you have not been using it the way you wanted. Maybe you feel behind. Maybe you feel like too many days have already gone. I want to say this to you, clearly and calmly. It is not too late. The hours you lost, let them go. You cannot get them back, and holding on to regret about them will only waste more hours. But today's hours, they are yours. This evening's 30 minutes, yours. Tomorrow morning before you pick up your phone, yours. Every single day from this moment forward, yours. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need to feel ready. You do not need to wait until life is easier or less busy. You need 30 minutes every day. Starting today, your English is waiting. Your better job is waiting. Your confidence is waiting. Your story, the story of the person you are becoming, is waiting to be written. Don't make it wait any longer. Put your phone down. Open your notebook. Press play on that English video you have been saving for later. Do it now. Because time is moving right now as you hear these words, and it will not slow down. Use it. See you in the next one. Stay calm. Stay consistent.